tuned to ABC Amba TV, and I said, welcome to everyone on our Amba history. Today, the 24th of January, 2023. It is time again for us to get into our history and note what our current events are telling us that are becoming history. All right. With that, while getting ready, I sent 21 gun salutes to the resolute Ambazonian restoration fighters who have stood the grounds, have seen and heard of the deception, and they have turned their backs from private sponsors who wanted to have them as private militias. 90% of them have come back to the interim government, their real government that wants to take them to Boya. Many of them don't want this struggle. It's not really a crisis. It's not also a conflict. It is a war. It is a genocide that has been brought upon the people of Ambazonia by La République du Cameroon. And people don't want it to be solved artificially. We want it to be solved from the roots. And that's why we in the Amba TV and in our program, our Amba history, we endeavor to tell you the truth. We are humans, we can err. Like I remember this morning, when I was making an audio, I made a mistake. The slip of my tongue said that Bala told Al Jazeera that it was 6 million Ambazonians. No, it's actually 6,000 that I wanted to say, but I'm still going to correct it on the audio. So we are to that simple standing to recognize our mistakes and correct them and move ahead. Not that somebody will make a mistake, you castigate the person, tell lies, and then plan to do what you cannot do. Anyway, our history is going to be dealing mostly with the current events that are happening so that we can refresh your minds. A lot of people are still listening to those lies. Somebody who cannot tell the truth for a moment. We call it in our pidgin language, Koniman. And Koniman has all the adjectives of evil. When we say Koniman is a thief, you are right. Of course, a liar is, you are right. A crook, you are right. A corrupter, you are right. A bribe taker, bribe eater, bribe giver, you are right. But our Amba history wants to restrict itself to talk about the positivity and the positive history that is happening in Ambazonia. And that's why here we are to instruct you, educate you, correct you, teach you, warn you. And when we make a mistake and we realize that it's a mistake, we are not ashamed to make the correggindo. Today, I just stumbled into an article that was spoken by our vice president, Mr. Eric Ate, in those days when he was DCAP, yes, director of the cabinet of the presidency. When I heard that article, I put it into audio and I'm sending it out to many Ambazonians to hear and see the consistency we are talking about. People want to go to Boya. You must stand on the road, on the line of truth. If you don't stand and line up with the truth, I'm sorry, you'll not be able to make it. All right, before we go ahead, I have Almighty God, and I have Abba Father, you know my name. And I want to call this Reverend Gentleman and Reverend Gentle Lady, if at all we have gentle ladies. But I want to call the Reverend Gentleman first. Come in and tell us, Abba Father, you know my name. Oh boy. Something has just happened, but let's go back there. All right.
Now you love me so, and you know my name. I give you glory, Abba Father. You know me, you know my name. Abba Father, you know me, you know my name. Abba Father, you know me, you know my name. You know my name, oh Daddy. You know me, you know my name. I can see your hand in my life. Lord, I see your love upon me. Every time I look around, now you are the see. Every time I turn around, now you are the view. I dey hear your voice in my heart. Lord, I feel your love over me. Every time I look around, now you are the see. Every time I turn around, now you are the below. Abba Father, you know my name. Papa, you know me. Yeah.
Ambazonians, once again, I greet you in the name of our Lord, knowing that this revolution is brought about by the trust that the people of God have put in God. And for that reason, our Amba history is being directed by God. And whatever people are saying out there and talking out there, we trust and we believe in God that He still speaks today. And He has been using our president to speak. And because our president does not come out to tell our Ambazonian people, thus says the Lord, the people think that God has not spoken, but God has been speaking. Today in our program, we have one of our seasoned elites. Some people think that elites should be only old people, but we have young people who are elites, vibrant and fearing no man. Reverend Dr. Victor will be joining me in a very short while, and we are going to go in for the current events that just passed 2-3 days ago, and today they are history, because we have been talking from 1961. Let's catch up with recently. And I want to tell Ambazonians, we will be going back to the archives from 2016, and we will analyze to you the history of this struggle, this fight, this genocide. In the days ahead, you will be hearing our history that has been documented recently. But for today, we'll just be telling you the headlines, and as the days go by, we'll properly put you with pictures. Reverend Dr. Victor, welcome to our Amba history. Once again, here are your people and the international community watching and listening to what we have for them on ABC. just go ahead and greet the people, and then we will take up from there. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Reverend Komando. Thank you for all what you've been doing in this struggle. We give God the glory for all your input, your effort, your tireless outings on the TV, on audios, to enlighten our people about the history of Amazonia. As you all know, the international community do not even know that in the curriculum of Cameroon syllabus, the children of Cameroon, both Amazonia and La Republique, are not taught the history of those countries. That's the ironic thing that is going on there. Which country, I know I'm a citizen here in America. Before I became a citizen, there is an interview that you are going to go, whereby before that interview, they give you 100 questions about the history of America that you must know before they can give you citizenship. And you study those questions for a month or less than 3 weeks, and they schedule your interview, and you go and defend what you studied about the history. But I want to let the international community know, even America that we are in now, to know that there is nothing like that in Cameroon. Both in La République du Cameroon and in Amazonia, former British Southern Cameroon, there is no teaching of the history of that country to any child. We grew up not knowing our history. And this is not an error. It was willfully done by the regime so that we, the Amazonian children, should not know our proper heritage. But thanks be to people like Chief Goji Dinka, who fought so vehemently to educate our people about the history of Amazonia. And now, because of this revolution, I am telling you the truth, that because of this revolution, somebody like me, that I'm in my early 50s, it is now that I'm knowing the history of my country. Because it was never taught in the primary school, it was never taught in the secondary schools, nothing. Everything was hidden. We don't know our Independent Day as Southern Cameroonians as of now. It is not taught in the schools. Even the same Agbobala that came out and was making this noise about Canada introduced a course in the University of Boya about this revolution. And it was dismissed. It was sanctioned. So Amazonians, they say information is power. I want to be grateful to God for what Pastor Komando has been doing on this our history channel, for all the fathers and mothers that have come out on this history channel to tell us, or this history program, to tell us what we need to know about our heritage. I only heard and read that it was a Tico airport. It was a Tico seaport. I never saw none of those things. And so I want to applaud you for this program that is very educational. And any ambassador who really want to know their heritage should never miss this program, because it is the eye-opener as to why we must stand strong to take our land back. Thank you. Sorry that I took a little bit longer to introduce myself.
Yes, we're coming back. Reverend Dr. Victor, I want to thank you very much for your sincerity. That is what we want on this, our Amba history. You have confessed something there that it looks like it's very simple, but it's very powerful. For you to tell the Ambazonian people and the world that you never knew the history of West Cameroon, that is a very powerful statement and sincerity of the highest order. There are people who are of your age and they are pretending that they know. And what do they know? Some of them know the distorted history that La Republique started putting out there when they went to school. Like people like us. I saw Tico Airport. I was born before the independence of La Republique du Cameroon. And of course, if I'm born before the independence of Cameroon, definitely I was born before the independence of the Southern Cameroons. I saw the Tico WAF. I went to the Victoria High Sea Beach or whatever thing they call it. I saw the things in my very young age. And so when you find me passionate and talking, I'm talking because in my childhood's mind, I can see the level where Ambazonia was going to be if we had been allowed by these criminals to build our nation.
Right.
Nevertheless, thank you very much for that sincerity, Reverend. We are going ahead. I just said that today you should come so we can introduce these current events that are turning into history. And I want you to tell the Ambazonian people a little of what happened this past week, where there was a lot of commotion about Canada, and then some countries like the Pope sent congratulations, and many people were saying that this is a breakthrough. And what happened yesterday? So
I didn't even hear the.
Oh, the Pope sent
I didn't even hear the
congratulations.
Pope's son. I didn't even hear the Pope's son. Wow.
He did. So
Komando,
what I want you to do,
I go, okay,
go ahead.
Before I even go ahead to talk about the current events of these past days, this is an inspiration that I had from the Lord, and I wrote to you, and I wrote to our famous Paddy King, that I am begging that it looked like God gave us a very sympathetic mind, a heart of love, so that you can kill us today like this, tomorrow we turn around and still hug you as friends without even a remorse. And so I was pleading with you on your program here, and pleading with Paddy King, that in this Amba history program, let us, at least even not for the next 3 months or 2 months, gear it toward the history of the current war. Because Ambazonians, if you can remember when we came out 27th of September 2017, was it 22nd of September 2017 or 27th, when we came out with peace plans to tell the world that enough is enough, when our children our lawyers were beaten on the streets of Boya and Bamenda. Our children at the University of Boya were rubbed in the mud. Girl children rubbed in sewage water from homes. Former President Ayoktabe came out and declared our independence, and we came out, and every village, to the LG, to the county, to the cities, came out en masse with peace plans to tell the world we are sick and tired of La Republique. We are ripe enough to be our own country. I am begging that it's good we go back to those early days of the revolution, and we see the aggressive way La Republique came against us, people with peace plans. And some of you will sit back and say we are brothers. I don't care whether we are brothers or not. No brother will treat his brother like that. Nobody, people, Komando, just permit me, we will come back to the current events of these days. But let me address these issues very well. Anytime you talk to people who are very naive about the revolution, they will tell you, oh, Amba boys are killing people. Amba boys are killing people. Amba boys are this. Amba boys are that. I asked them, when our people came out with peace plans to say, stop humiliating us. And as of that time, stop humiliating us, stop beating our lawyers. They are simply asking for a translation of Okada law. They are simply saying that don't send us French lawyers and French teachers. And the teachers are saying, send us qualified English-speaking teachers. And this was an ignorant request. Oh, thank God for the confession of Paul Biya in Paris. Because by the time Agbobalade and the rest were asking these things and the lawyer were asking these things, they never knew that it was in the agenda of La Republic to assimilate us and make us a second-class citizen in their country. So they were asking anything genuinely, thinking that it was just some error that was being done. But when Paul Biya himself went to Paris at Mo Ibrahim's program and confessed there that we have been trying to assimilate them and it has failed, then our eyes were opened to say, so it was a deliberate act. Send French commissioner of police, French commissioner of gendarme, French DOs, French SDOs, French lawyers, French procureur general, whatever they call them, state councils, into our zone, as it was done like that as a process of assimilation. We thought the matter of bilingualism they were trying to do. We did not know that it was the process of assimilation. Yeah, you can see those pictures. Those are pictures. Just marching and peacefully. No, you can play it. Play it. Komando, hold I almost got into tears right there, because if you look deeply, most of these people are not more alive. Yes. But these were the early days of this revolution. Look how free people came out to show their mind, tell what was in their mind. This is what freedom is all about. This happened in America. This will happen in Canada. This will happen in Britain. This will happen anywhere in the Western world. When people are disgruntled with anything, they come out and express themselves and tell their president and tell their country, this is what we don't like. No, not in Cameroon. Not in Cameroon. But what you see here, and you can hear the song in the background there, tell Paul Biya to let my people go. This was when they had killed our people, brutalized our lawyers, brutalized our teachers, brutalized the students of the University of Yaoundé, Wada Oboya, and Bamenda. Then the people said, no, if that is the case, let us go. Ambazonia, you must not forget where we are coming from. You must not forget where we are coming from. We are too good-hearted that sometimes because our so much good heart, that is why the Republic is taking advantage of us. You need to be angry once in a while and tell your mind for your enemy to know that you are not more happy with what they are doing. I don't care whether you are John Gute. I don't care whether you are Mafani. I don't care whether you are Mosonge. I don't care whether you are a former Prime Minister, this guy in Saudi. I don't care what position any of you hold. Even you are Tanganji and the rest, you need that freedom. You need that freedom. We know you need that freedom. Before they will kill this lawyer in Bali, when they came to Bamenda, he told them the peace of his mind. He said, even you, my prime minister, who is this prime minister? Chang, sorry. The former prime minister.
Chang, no.
No. This Achidachu's son in Chok there. The name has escaped my mind. This lawyer in Bali that they killed told him, my beloved prime minister, I know even you need that freedom. You want that freedom. It's just a matter that you cannot express it because where you are. This is the minds Amazonian had as of then, when people were not yet corrupted, when people were not yet given brown envelopes. This is the Amazonia you had. This is the Amazonia that led to the declaration of our statehood back by former President Ayok Tabe. This is the Amazonia. Tell me, if you were made a leader at that time and you saw this kind of crowd and how people came out expressing their mind that nothing else but let us go, we want our country, tell me whether you will not be the one to also declare that independence. And when President Ayok Tabe declared that independence, our nation was booming and moving forward. Then they say, what? No, we cannot take this. And they send military into Mamfe, send military into Kembo. And when the military gendarmes went into Kembo and killed a lot of people there, burned houses, and I think 2 or 4 gendarmes were killed. I'm trying to take you through the history of this revolution. Either 2 or 3 gendarmes were killed, or 4 gendarmes were killed. Paul Biya was in a Francophonie conference in Ivory Coast. He came back. Let America tell me which president does this. Let Britain tell me, if you are a real president in Britain, will you do this? You are coming back from a conference. You have not been briefed about what is going on in the nation. You start at the airport and you declare war without consulting your parliament, without consulting your senate, without consulting your cabinet. Why? Showing how it's a dictatorial regime. We don't need your opinion. We do what we want and we go the way we want.
Yeah, that guy is Philemon Yang. Philemon Yang,
that
the prime minister.
Philemon Yang, good. Philemon Yang at that time. This guy Obali was telling Philemon Yang and the rest that came, even you need this freedom. We are just sorry that your hands are tied. That is why you cannot express it. We are telling these slaves working for your own regime, you need the freedom. All of them. I don't care whoever you are, the Tanandi, the HROs, the who. Call any minister or any slave parliamentarian or senator. They need this freedom. The Golen of Lebialem, you are not ashamed, Golen that you cannot drive your car to your village. Here you are a minister for how many years? A road to Lebialem is not tarred. You people should be ashamed of yourself. Who has bewitched you people? Who bewitched you people? That is Prime Minister that this stupid Nancy Clovis coming out was begging. Oh, Prime Minister, you are too dull. The lack of education for the Clovis is first of all the problem. He doesn't even know that the prime minister is like the 10th in power in the Republic government. Now he has it's a shocking thing, as I heard as of Monday, that for the first time in the history of the prime ministry office in Yaoundé, you cannot even appoint your own private secretary. Or is it the secretary or the private secretary? It was now the government have to give him a private secretary because they want to censor everything that he's doing. Clovis, you don't have no prime minister. That your papa you are calling John Gute is a boy to Yaoundé. He's not prime minister there. He has no power, no strength, nothing. So the day you come back to your senses to know that the only freedom you are going to get is when you have your own country, then will your eyes be clear. So, beloved Amazonians, I was just trying to show the genesis of how this came about. And now, I don't know, Reverend Komando, if I should go ahead, because I want to address this one issue that people keep blaming. Oh, Amba boys, oh, Amba boys. Among that crowd that you saw marching, was there anyone with a spear or a knife? I'm not even talking of a hunting gun. In that crowd that you saw there marching, was there anybody with a gun or even a knife? No. They were all holding peace plants. Look at it. Look at these protesters. Holding a Amazonian flag and their peace plants. Oh, Lord. That is it. Free Ambazonia, leave us alone. I don't know if you want to come there before I talk about the issue of the Amba boy that people are blaming us.
Yes, Pastor, thank you very much. Sorry, this thing is very pathetic because most of the people you see there, some of them are not alive today to actually be enjoying what is going on.
A lot of them have been killed.
Come again?
No, I said a lot of them have been killed.
Yeah, a lot of them have been killed. Carrying palms in their hands like that. No sane government or military in the world will do what La Republic has done to Ambazonia. What we have discovered is that they have an interest, not in the people, but in the property of the people.
Right.
And instead of coming into a gentleman's agreement for us to divide what God has put under our soil, they decide to eliminate us. They have made us slaves enough, hidden everything about us to us. But this generation says, no more. Now, Reverend, you were very, very privileged to hear the saga of the Canada connection. And they said they had some secret meetings whereby the Canadian government accepted that they were going to facilitate. And the greatest question we have been asking is, those secret meetings, what were the secret agreements that they signed? So that we should not go into what happened with French Cameroon and all the French colonies when La République, when France signed accord de coopération. When you read those accord de coopération, you will know that Satan is, you can choose Satan small because he can blow you a little bit. That these people are wicked, white in the body, but dark in the heart, more than darkness. Criminals of the highest order. Now, these our brothers who went to sign an agreement with Canada to mortgage Ambazonia. What can you tell the Ambazonian people of these self-styled leaders who are leading nobody at home front. They have no compassion for those who have died. In fact, they have helped to kill some of the ones that have died. And they now step up to be their leaders to sell them under the pretext that they want to free them. And you heard, I don't know whether you actually heard, Capo Daniel came out and actually congratulated La République du Cameroon, the president of Cameroon. If ADF and A of G was not working with La République du Cameroon, how could that happen in a revolution like this? I just want you to make your comment sincerely in the capacity of a servant of God concerning some of these things that we thought that they were just rumors, but today we are seeing them absolutely coming out to be true.
Pastor Komando, thank you so much. I was going to have, the program is 1 hour, right? Or is it more than 1 hour?
Yes.
Okay, just 1 hour. Okay, so we just have maybe some 22 minutes or 23 minutes. Okay. Because I was going to say something before I end up with these people of... let me just throw this in before I come back to your real question, because I am saying this, still pleading that let's execute this war program, or what are this Amba war history program. A lot of people blame Ambazonians and say, the naive ones, I'm coming back to your question. The naive one will blame Ambazonians and say, oh, Amba boys, oh, Amba boys. I asked them the question. When you see the crowd like the one you have shown, is there an Amba boy there? Is anybody holding a gun there? Is anybody holding a knife there? Is anybody holding a spear there? Or a dead gun or anything? The answer is no. So, I was speaking with one of my family members the other day, and they said, oh, it's Amba boys that are killing people. Listen to me and listen well. If you do not know the history of the war, let me tell you very well. You have 5 children in your house here. If somebody enter in this house, kill your first child, kill your second, will you just fold your hands and sit down there and continue to kill all of them? Even if you know that that person is more powerful than you, will you not even arise to bite the person's hand or do something that even to bite the person's leg, that you should leave your children alone? I said, that's what happened. There were no Amba boys. There were no Amba boys anywhere. Or let me really put it right term. There were no restoration fighters anywhere. La République formed the restoration fighters. La République is the one who gave birth to restoration fighters. La République is the one who incubated the restoration fighters in the womb of violence and birthed them. So don't blame restoration fighters. They were given birth to by the wickedness of La République. And there is no way you can blame them without blaming the person that gave birth to them. And so stop being naive and sit on the corner and say a restoration fighter or Amba boys without you blaming the military of La République that comes in, go into your villages, kill Mamia P in their house, burn Mamia P in their house, burn baby matter, burn the baby in hot oil in Widikum, and all of this. You don't blame that. You are wicked if you cannot blame that. Nkomo Bala and the rest, you are wicked if you can. I have never seen one day you call yourself a human rights activist that you come out and condemn the act of La République over your own people that you call. I've never seen one day. I raised my case on that issue. Let me go back to the question that the Komando has been trying to ask me so that we really talk about this. Ambazonians, I think time has come. I'm going to approach this question from a different perspective. Time has come for you people to know that God is totally in control of this revolution. And that God was sick and tired of La République marginalizing, maltreating, killing our people, that God said enough is enough. And God decided to put this thing to an end. What you have heard happen in Canada in simple terms, if somebody heard my audio of yesterday, was God trying to draw a fine line to the international community, especially to the United Nations, which I know Prince Sako have been speaking with, to the American Senate, to the American government, which Dr. Sako have been speaking with our president, to the British House of Lords, and to other parliaments. Who is the true leader of Amazonia? Because what you see was a setup to know the false and the truth. And the setup worked so well because gullible, greedy, chicken change seekers of Amazonia fell for it. Even the so-called human rights activist Balam Kongo disgraced himself to the world. Disgraced himself to the world. I pleaded with him that he should go back and return every award he has received, because every people you receive an award from them, they regretted that you were even given that award and called a human rights activist. If you follow the interview that Anu made on VOA with Joseph Bolton, even a human rights activist as Nkongo Bala will not be ashamed to go out and say people in Boya are happy that Canada has decided to make to make peace and to accept to come and give peace to Cameroon. And
to Northwest and Southwest.
To come and give peace to Northwest and Southwest. Or in fact, they say people in the Southwest were very happy. How can you call yourself a human rights lawyer, that educated, yet you allow the corruption of La Republic to destroy the education that your father sent you to be taught? By coming out to sell yourself and disgrace the calling of a human rights activist, to show the world that Cameroon and Canada have a compromise to bring Amazonia into a place where they will not be able to come out because Canada has already been compromised by the Republic. You know what? Our president is a very wise man. If not that I heard the interview of our president and the speech he made, he said when this whole saga came out, the ambassador, the Canadian ambassador, why should he be an ambassador to call him? If not, it's a Yaoundé cook up thing. And the ambassador called him and he asked the ambassador, is La Republique of Cameroon going to be on the table? He said no. He said, so who are going to be there? He said, just some people. And then he told them it's a bridge to nowhere. Because if La Republique is not on the table, there's no reason for you to call me. I will be on the table when La Republique says it's going to be on the table. I thought that statement was not true. Or I know some people would have looked at that and said, oh, the president did not say the truth. La Republique came out yesterday and disgraced Anu, disgraced all the coup plotters. I think they have entered their shells now. I pray you remain in that shell never to come out. La Republique came out and disgraced them, disgraced Anu woefully. Something happened yesterday. I don't know whether these VOA people are really real. I went to the internet yesterday, Pastor Komando, because I was so mad in my spirit. I wanted to call that man who interviewed Chris Anu and Kongo Bala.
Agobala.
Yes, of that VOA man. Do you know the number I call? The number that is online for VOA. That number is fake. That number doesn't work. I don't understand, but I called that number yesterday. It was a 202 number. A 202 number. I called that number yesterday. I thought I could see that number now on my phone here. I would have called it for you. Okay, this is the number. No, this is not the one. I called that number and they said this number is not in existence. And it's on this. This is shameful. And I don't know which number. I challenge Chris Ano, if he's hearing me, send me the number to that guy. I want to call him and tell him the peace of my mind. Because all these things, even if it is that people have to be corrupted before they put them on that VOA to talk, then it's a shame. Then it's a shame. Because I would think that a place like that should have access to anybody who really want to talk to them, to be able to talk to them. This is the number. Let me Komando listen. I'll put it on speaker.
You have reached the United States Agency for Global Media, formerly known as the Broadcasting.
Wonderful. As of yesterday, I called this same number, they say it's not in service. As of yesterday, 202, let me read the number, 202-203-4000. As I called, they said the number was not in service. Now I hear something else. Don't worry, I'll still call that number. But to come back to your point, the saga that went up in Canada has finally been buried by La République. I don't know whether it's the confusion that is going on in La République among themselves, that some people accepted that Ngote should do this thing, and now the other part said they don't want it. Or is it the fear, like they were afraid when Cardinal Tumi wanted to call the conference? They were afraid because they knew that when Cardinal Tumi called that conference, the resolution will be sent right to the American Senate and the British Senate. So they refused it not to hold. I don't know whether that was the fear that has gripped Cameroon now. Maybe because they thought that when they would say that peace is called, Canada is trying to make peace, Amazonia will jump and start celebrating. But we came out to tell Canada, if at all it was Canada, that we don't want peace because Amazonia is already peaceful. We want justice, and justice is to say, take the intruder, take the enemy that is causing trouble in Amazonia out. And that is Francophone French Cameroon military. That is our problem that we have. There is peace in Amazonia. Among ourselves, we have no problem. If there is any problem in Amazonia, it's because of the military of French Cameroon that has come to be killing our people. So we need the justice that will take French Cameroon people out. Then peace will come without any conference. Peace will come without anybody sitting on the table anywhere. Peace will come without people going to Canada. Take the military out. And to those naive Amazonians who say, oh, restoration fighters should stop killing people, tell La République to take their fighters, their military out of Amazonia, then peace will return. That is all we need. Go back to your country. You saw those children crying there in that march past, and you saw that boy saying, go back, we don't want you again. You have the illegal marriage have stayed overdue. Go back to your country. It is sad, like Mr. UN will say, that it is so sad that Francophones are afraid of their own country. They are afraid to go back to French Cameroon. They are afraid to go back to their own country. Otherwise, all this year we say, go back. Why don't you go back if you think French Cameroon is better than Amazonia? Yes. Those of you who think that Amazonia is not a good place, French Cameroon is better. What are the Francophones still doing there when they say they should go back? What are they still doing there? So, Pastor Komando, we are here to encourage Amazonians that let them not be moved a bit by this nonsense. Our restoration fighters are standing up strong. We saw what happened the last 2 weeks before this nonsense of Canada came up. And that is the shameful thing that I think La République just got sick and tired with these coup plotters. And I tell La République, you know what happened to Israel and Egypt when the children of Israel were suffering in Egypt? God made sure that they drained all of what they ever had and kept them in poverty before Israelites left. If you want to keep spending your money to be corrupting this Amazonian that cannot deliver to you, French Cameroon, keep spending the money on these coup plotters. But let me tell you, whether it is one county that is left fighting, they will deliver Amazonia. I mean, whether it's only one county, they will deliver Amazonia. Libya and Lembe have gone down the drain. I think that's the only country that has gone down that we don't hear nothing there. Every other country is still alive and well. I want to still tell you, you will not be able to take Amazonia. Do French Cameroon people really have knowledge and intelligence? How do you think you will ever take over Amazonia when you cannot even control your movement in the city, in the Amazonia? Your military are afraid to move. We heard the other day how a military convoy had to stop all the cars that were going to Bui and send the cars ahead for them to be driving behind. Hello? Is that not a sign of defeat? So, my pastor, Amazonians should know that we have won. And this whole saga about Canada, which Canada was not involved, and French Cameroon have finally come to say we are not also involved. I don't know where Mute will put his head now. Oh God, have mercy on this man. Have mercy on this man.
Reverend, those people, they are shameless. So I tell you, say that where will they put their head? I don't know when you were growing up. You were growing up in the modern days. We grew up in those old crooked days where the only civilization we knew was the evil of Famla and the Nyongo.
Okay.
So that when they take you into that place, then you will be looking like a human being, but you're not a human being. So civilization has come to cover it a little bit. And then some of you who are just growing up now, you don't know what it is. You see Angobala, you see Professor Anyangwe and all the Nick Gwanyama, all the like.
Right.
They know the history of Ambazonia to their fingertips more than me. But the difference is that they have sold their souls to the devil. And that's why they cannot even remember themselves. If you saw what happened to Paul Biya in the United States when the African leaders met, that is exactly how most of these people are behaving. If you ask Paul Biya, did you recognize the mess you made in that place? He wouldn't even know what they are talking about.
Right.
So that is exactly what some of these people who have eaten the money or joined hands with the Republic of Cameroon in the wickedness of that country, and they are Ambazonians, that's how they are. There was not a single time in the Prime Minister's office that the Secretary General was appointed. The Prime Minister made a choice of his Secretary General. But today, they have appointed one to John Gute, and he's clapping.
Imagine that.
That is to tell you that, as I've always been saying, that's why your liberation prayers for Ambazonia and I'm sure to our neighboring La Republique is going to do something. Because if we go home to live with Sodom and Gomorrah by our side, whether we like it or not, osmosis will take place. Because the erosion that will crop up from there will corrupt the Ambazonian people. Right now, as I'm talking...
Go ahead. I was saying that it's our prayer that before that day comes. Before that time comes.
That's why we are praying and not leaving La Republique aside. Because if you leave closed door to the devil and he becomes your neighbor, before you get up tomorrow, your child that is innocent has been turned into an assistant devil right inside your house. That's why our prayers are reaching out to them. And so, Ambazonians, by tomorrow, we'll gather a number of what happened in 2016, 2017. I will put it on the screen for you to see what happened. We'll bring the lawyers that were beaten and pushed on the floor. We'll show you them. We'll show you the great conference in Bamenda, when Akere Muna spoke his last words.
Yes.
And we will show you that we are following the path that has been prescribed. And the only reason, like our Vice President, Mr. Ate Eric said yesterday, the only way and the only person that La Republic has not found a way to corrupt is our president.
Yes.
And his present team that is working now. But we can talk very, very fervently and very truthfully about our president and his vice president and some of the members of the cabinet, because we don't know as of now what's actually going on. But what we know is that God is actually in this business. And that is why, Reverend Doctor, I don't know whether you heard me yesterday when I emphasized about the spiritual cabinet that has never been erected and never been in any government of the world. And the Ambazonian quest came in with our president allowing and calling for a spiritual cabinet to be the background. And that's why these people are failing big time.
They don't understand what is going on.
Yeah.
In their failure. They don't understand. But they know, they hear it. Let me tell you, I will share my testimony one day, not today. But the truth is that we destroy all their plans in the supernatural. Yes, we pray and we destroy them. When we see this confusion happening about Canada like this, you ask yourself, why will La Republic humiliate Ayoktabe, humiliate Akwanga, humiliate Ayabacho, humiliate Agbobara, humiliate Anu like that? They don't understand what is happening in the supernatural. It is because the supernatural is taking care of it. So when you hear this humiliation, don't go blame them. It is the Lord that is remote control. That's why I've told Ambassadors, God can give our independence tomorrow. But the Lord wants to expose all the wicked seed that we have among us. So that by the time we get to Boya, if somebody like Bobala want to come run for an office, you just laugh and tell them that go to La Republic and run for an office there. Because people like this are the one that will take that office and then give it back to La Republic. So God has to expose all the bad seed among us. That's why it's taking long. It's not taking long. It's a process of liberation. Liberation is not a walk in the park. Ayabacho will say that I want to collect money from the Republic and want to make it to be a walk in the park. But God has disgraced them a lot, and God is still disgracing them. This part that God is taking now is the part of grace. Because the time is coming when God will start eliminating each of them. Yes, a time is coming when God will start eliminating each of them. You will hear them just sleep on their bed and go. They will not come back to life. Because the anger of God is building up against them. If they can repent now, that will be a good thing. But if they continue in their wickedness, like I'm sending sound warning to no pity. No pity. God is warning you again. Last time when I sent you warning, you say you wanted to talk to me, and I tried to call you, I have not picked up your phone. No pity. God is warning you again that the blood of the Amazonian you have destroyed is already too much. And your own will soon be the one to go. Don't wait for nobody to come and kill you. God said, I can take out your breath while you are sleeping on your bed. I don't need anybody to kill you. Because if somebody kills you, the person will take glory. I, God, says the Lord, will be able to terminate you when you are sleeping in your bed. I don't need any restoration father to kill you. So it's the second warning I'm sending to no pity. Stop the evil. The money you have taken from the Republic, you can run into Nigeria and sit and eat that money quietly. Like Leke, your brother, has done. Leke of Lebianem has done. You can go use somewhere and eat that money. Because as you are continuing in this thing, God is saying this second warning, you might not have a third warning. So no pity. God is warning you. Stop killing your brothers. The blood of your brother you have killed is crying like the blood of Abel was crying. Like the Lord was asking Cain, where is your brother Abel? So please, you should be careful. Stop this evil, because the Lord will soon answer the people of Amazonia's prayer. Nobody that tend to, even in your wicked occult group that you go and take so-called Odeshi, They warn you there not to turn your gun against your own brother. You swear oaths. How much more God? If you think that to turn a gun against your brother is something good, why do you swear oaths that you will not turn a gun against your brother in those occult groups? Let me tell you, God has given the last one, the second warning. You may not have the chance for the third one. Stop the killing of your own brothers. Otherwise, this year may not finish you. That is the warning for no pity. Thank you. If you can hear, fine. If you cannot hear, that's your own cup of tea. Thank you, Reverend Komando, for inviting me for your program today. We hope to meet tomorrow for Hour of Freedom. We'll just dwell on most of this stuff because these are the pertinent things that we are talking about now. And we'll derive a topic that we'll talk on tomorrow to our people. Yes. God bless you. Thanks so much for the time.
Thank you very much, Reverend Dr. Victor, for coming. It was my pleasure to have you on this program. And ladies and gentlemen, I am sure that you have been blessed by the coming of this servant of God on this program. Tomorrow is Wednesday. We shall be together again. And let me inform you that this evening at 8 p.m., the Secretary of State for Communications for the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, my boss, Dr. Mungwa Martin, will be on stage to talk to the Ambazonian people. Please don't miss that program. I am sure he will be expatiating on these hawks of the Alibaba and the 40 thieves that just took place in Canada. And I know some people called me and insulted me. I mean, behind. They said all kinds of things. They said, what kind of pastor are you? You and Sako, you people will not go to Canada. You want us to be suffering. Ambazonians, listen. We don't want you to suffer. We don't want you to have artificial solving of the problem. You are not Northwest and Southwest. You are Ambazonians. And as we have put the hand to the plow, we must finish the farm. La Republic must get out. And all these impostors, as you have seen by yourself, I hear them advertising a certain program. Go there at your own risk because Satan will brainwash you. There are some programs that you should not watch. Yes, for whatever reason, you don't need to watch such programs because there is a subtle way in a spirit when you hear something to take you over. Actions speak louder than words. And many of you Ambazonians, you have seen actions just the beginning of this year. I have some news that is just coming in from Bui, but I'm not going to say it. Maybe my boss is going to say it first, but you can check it up. It is there on social media. But we, the interim government, we don't work with the social media. We work on facts and figures. And so thank you very much for coming to our program tonight. Ambazonians, God bless you. Again, Almighty God is the one who is doing what we are proud of because we are his servant. Listen.